For this module, the first of the two tools that I will be analyzing is ProBoards. ProBoards is a web forum or discussion or message board. There are a lot of different names those services used to go by or still go by, but I'll be using the term forum. Now, some people often think that web forums are dead, but I think that they're worth analyzing because I think that they are the precursor to a lot of today's educational technologies and a lot of today's collaborative tools and social media. Even though a lot of people think they're a relic of Web 1.0, I think that they have a place in Web 2.0 or 3.0 as we seem to be moving towards. And I'm going to point out some of those features or reasons why I believe that. Um, ProBoards is completely online, requires no download. You simply go to proboards.com to create a forum for people to post in, to be in charge of, or if you simply want to join an existing ProBoards forum, all you would have to do is get the link to the forum and register an account, as you can see here. The cost of the forum. There is a free version with comprehensive amounts of features. Um, as you can see here, many of the features are detailed. It is free. There is not a size limit. YouTube videos can be embedded. File attachments can be embedded to posts. There is 24/7 support. It has unlimited bandwidth, which means that you have an unlimited amount of users who can visit your forum on any given day. Uh, as far as posting goes, um, like I said, YouTube can be embedded. Attachments can be included. Some posts can contain polls to try and get opinions. Um, there are also thumbnails and links and all that stuff can be integrated. I'll show you how to use some of that in a few minutes. Uh, there can be overarching categories and subforums among those categories. So for example, here in this one, I have a Module 1 category. And subforums within that category include readings and group discussions. I'll explain a bit why I structured the forum the way I did. Um, it also allows you, in my opinion, even to create an entire course using a forum. What I've done is I've actually tried to recreate in a small way, not completely, but in a small way, our course here in D2L, because like I said, I think it's web forums that were the precursors to things like D2L and collaborative online classrooms of that sort. So you can see, for example, here, here's ACTE 630, and the syllabus, the course overview section. There's a subforum for the syllabus, and I could make a post containing the syllabus. Here's the welcome message that I didn't remove, but that could be the syllabus if I were to modify it. Here's a section for the academic honesty policy. And look here at Module 1. Module 1, for example, if I were to have structured this in in ProBoards, I could have made a Module 1 category, clicked on the Module 1 readings subforum, and here's where I, as the admin, or perhaps professor in that case, here's where I've copy and pasted the course overview from D2L. Now, what I'm trying to demonstrate is that really, as far as functionality goes, this is effectively having the exact same functionality as D2L. So I find it interesting when people say that web forums are dead, because I simply think that they've been repackaged. I'll give you another example here. In Module 1, if you recall, we had to post Brainshark introductions. So here is my Brainshark introduction post recreated from D2L. And in D2L, we also were to respond to people's Brainshark introductions. So here I will click reply to show you what the posting options are like, what the editor is like. Again, this does not look a whole lot different from D2L. I can type a reply. I found your introduction interesting, and I could edit it. I could make these bold, italicize them, underline them, add a whole host of other options. I can insert links, tables, lists, also insert images, embed videos, and I can insert smileys, but that's not really all that necessary. Um, also, so I would create the post, and this would be my reply. Another feature of this forum is that it does have a messaging feature. I can send private messages to other members of the forum. Kind of functions like the email system in D2L. Also, each user can change their profile. They can alter it with profile pictures, contact information, leave a message, update their status. Sounds a lot like social media to me. Um, they can have friends on the forum, look at their activity, and all sorts of features like that. See, this shows all the things that I've posted on the forum. As far as relating it more towards the focus of our class, this is definitely an asynchronous tool. There's not really much opportunity for real-time live collaboration. However, much like D2L, this can serve as a hub for that. For example, I could make a post, say here in Module 1, and tell people to schedule a time for to meet via Google Hangouts or something of that sort. And so, for example, this could be, I could add poll. What time would you like to meet? And I could say, morning, afternoon, evening, and everyone in the class could participate in the poll, and we could figure out a time to meet in order to have a live discussion. So you see, this is very much a I made a typo there. I'll fix it. This is very much can be used much the same way as D2L, which again I find interesting because everyone talks of forums as being a dead technology, and I just think they've been repackaged. So here we go. I could vote that I want to meet in the morning, and there's poll results, much like the poll that we were sent by our professors in this course. But referring to the table on page 109, this definitely lends itself well to having shared resources, because I could create a post with reading materials and links to things that would help. Also a visual list. As far as brainstorming goes, it wouldn't be live brainstorming, but it would still lend itself to brainstorming. It's great for private discussion, for reflection, just like we use in D2L, whether that's journals or anything like that. As I said, videos can be embedded, so it is useful for that purpose. I think those are its most useful benefits because, like I said, this is an asynchronous tool. As far as the idea of social presence, I think a web forum, one of the appeals of web forums early on was that very nature. It fostered social presence, an online social presence, but it definitely fostered a sense of community online. Each forum has its own culture and rules. I mean, the forums that are still around today that are popular, Reddit and 4chan, for example, they thrive off the fact they have these reputations, and they foster their own sense of community and norms and all that. So definitely a forum will lend itself well to that, especially with customizing your profile, and if you were to leave places for members to interact. Also, as far as the assignment that I did a commonly confused words activity. That didn't go very well in Google Hangouts because Google Hangouts doesn't have as many input features as I would like, and it didn't react well to the PowerPoint and having people interact with it. But I think that it could enhance the teaching of that if I were to restructure it. If I were to simply give people sets of words and have them do some sort of activity with it, they could see the activity develop here together. Or I could even, have a private poll. That's one of the options here. I could have a private poll here where people could vote on the answers to the questions, and then we could talk about them. Also, this could replace things like having to email each other for drafts of papers, because you guys could, or students could exchange drafts via this forum because the posts allow for attachments and everything of that sort. So that's how I think that this tool is useful. I do think it has its limitations. However, as you can see, I've started to recreate our course in the forum, and I think this is a bit more useful because this it will be available after the course is over. One thing that I didn't quite touch upon was there are paid plans, and one of those the paid plans do things like they add options uh, like additional larger size attachments and more tech support and things of that sort. But all of the relevant uses for our purposes are available with the free version. Other things would be it as you can see here. If I go back to my forum, the URL is a subdomain. Let me pull that up in a different window. The URL is a subdomain, as you can see here. Getting the pro version would let it be its own website, so it could be acte630.com. Yeah, so that is how I think this technology, ProBoards, can be useful for online teaching, and I definitely think it's useful to foster social presence. All right, thank you. That concludes my analysis.